Welcome back to Bold TV. I'm Holland Haiis and I'm filling in for Philip Michael today. We're talking to the visionary creators and co-founders of the Black Women Talk Tech Conference. Welcome Regina, Gwynn, and Esosa Ighodaro-Johnson. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you
Thank you
so
so much
much.
for having us.
I'd love to start by each of you giving us a brief rundown of how you created this conference. I'm sure there's a really exciting backstory as to how someone in baking and someone in retail come together to create this incredible conference.
Sure. I've been so excited about how it's actually come together. Myself and Regina started this company about 5 years ago. We were budding entrepreneurs in the tech industry with disparate backgrounds within banking and retail. And we were looking for a community of women who were building really big ideas because it has so much to do with really understanding the ecosystem of tech to really, really excel in it. And so once we finally met, we created a community of founders that are looking to help build their business and really take it to the next level. So we started out with a small group, expecting like maybe 10, 15 people in a room. And then randomly found over 300 people trying to join. And that's how we realized there was a real energy behind wanting to go ahead and meet and communicate and build together. And so that's the genesis behind Roadmap to Billions, our annual conference that we do in February typically. But this year, as a result of the pandemic, we're doing it in August, 12th and 13th. And so we welcome investors, founders, tech leaders, folks who work in tech, enthusiasts of tech, people who want to learn more.
We've got a lot of those. We're going to get to the conference in a moment. Hold on, because I love what you're sharing. And thank you for the clarification that it is banking and not baking. I had heard baking prior to this. So thank you for that clarification. Regina, last year there was a big push for diversity and inclusion in all industries, right? We heard DE&I really was the chant everywhere. Have you seen a change in the tech industry?
That's a good question. I think that it will take some time to see true change. I think there's been, if I think of a change, it's been the vocalness, if you will. It's been, a lot more calls for change, which is encouraging. But when we think about the actual change happening, we are starting to see more dollars being dedicated to funds that invest in early stage startups, funds that invest in women and men of color. So we'll start to see those changes. They're happening in trickles. But in terms of lasting impact, I think that's kind of more of the measure that I think will be meaningful. And that impact is still TBD. And so we're hopeful that these calls for change stay loud, and that they stay consistent, so that we can actually make it to the actual impact of those having those changes and having those changes influence something.
Well, to your point, you're completely correct that it's time. We need time in order to measure impact. So time will tell, as the saying goes. However, you do feel, what I'm hearing from you is that the needle it's moved a little bit, and so that is progress.
It's starting, absolutely.
Okay,
I can definitely say, we've seen a lot of companies at least show interest, and so that's a start. And whether that the needle actually moving in the way of real dollars moving, if I think about the needle, it would have to be a dollar's needle.
And we'll see.
And so
we'll be looking for that. Yes. And so this is for either of you. Why do you think there is still such a funding gap for minority entrepreneurs? Regina?
I think when it comes to funding minority entrepreneurs and especially Black founders, there's a lot of different pieces or factors that go into getting the capital needs that we really want in order to grow and scale our companies. So there is, of course, the racial bias piece of it. And then just the idea when we think about the statistics around how much money or what percentage of dollars is actually going to women, and then what percentage of dollars are actually going to people of color, primarily even Black people. It's really small. I think we've seen in the past that there's some data that shows about 2% go to women, and then a 1% go to Black people, and then 0.0006% goes to Black women. And so it's really hard in terms of a couple of different issues that we're finding, whether it's like relationships that actually the folks who are building or actually have the dollars to put into founders, not having enough social capital there. And also the idea of there's a concept in technology called pattern matching. And so because it's such a high risk industry around technology, and there's less data to validate sometimes an early stage idea, they go by like what has worked in the past. And so if they've always invested in white men that went to Stanford, they continue looking for that pattern. And unfortunately, that leaves a lot of money, a lot of problem solving, a lot of opportunity on the table when it comes to people who don't fit that profile. And so we're trying to really open that up, build more connection capital, build more access for founders and investors to connect, and to really de-risk the idea of investing in a woman or a person of color who's starting a company, whose really expertise is in that space too, especially when it's focused on that as well.
So to your point, Esosa, we need to have more funding that is coming into the minority entrepreneurs, the Black women, as you say. And so what can we expect, Regina, from the Black Women Talk Tech Roadmap to Billions?
We will have workshops, we will have keynotes, we will have panel discussions that will really dig into these concepts in detail. We'll also allow for those that are interested in working for a startup, those that are interested in working in tech. We will have recruiters on hand talking about ways to get a job with Visa, get a job with Netflix, Roku, Shipt, you name it, Happy Money. We've got tons of recruiters that will also be on hand to fast track you into job opportunities within their organizations. This year will be a virtual conference, but it's going to be unlike anything you've seen before. So we're stitching together bits and pieces of on-location content. So think Saturday Night Live meets Black Girl Magic. And we are creating what's called a live virtual experience. So this will be streamed through the Hopin platform. And there's definitely some surprises that are in store. So you definitely have to tune in and take a look.
Please, please check out this conference. Support yourself, support to these two entrepreneurs. Thank you both for being here with us today. And I want to thank all of you for watching. Follow Bold TV on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Have a great day.